don't seem to understand.
Do you really exist? Or, just like Schrodinger's cat, do we only exist when perceived by others? Each individual person you interact with gains a different impression of who you are when observing and speaking to you, but not a single person really knows who the true you even is.
私またわかんなくなっちゃって、私がいるのこっちなのかそっち側なのか、私そっち側のどこにだっている、それは知ってるの、だって繋がっているんだものでしょ。でも私の本当の私のいるところってどこ？あ、本当の私なんていないんだっけ。私は私の存在を知っている人の中にだけいるけど、それだって今こうやって喋っている私は私だよね。この私って誰？
This obscuring of the true self is only further complicated when you consider the digital world, where anyone can present themselves however they want. How you look at that fact dictates what that means for your identity. Having an online persona could be a way of hiding your true self and pretending to be someone that you're not. But for some, being in a digital space is the only way they can feel like their true selves. Serial Experiments Lain is an anime released in 1998 about a shy, introverted 14-year-old girl named Lain Iwakura, as she explores a digital landscape known as the Wired, which parallels the internet of our own world. During the first episode, Lain received an email from a classmate who had committed suicide, claiming that she still lived on in the Wired and is with God. This is what sends the previously not-so tech-savvy Lain down a spiralling descent through the layers of the Wired, her sense of self becoming intrinsically attached to the online world, and her disassociation with her identity becoming progressively worse. During an early episode, we are introduced to Lain of the Wired through the words of other characters, who is described as looking like Lain, but not sharing that same shy personality, but rather being self-assured, assertive, and with a strong sense of justice. Very different to the Lain we are introduced to, and this also comes as a shock to Lain herself. We learn that this identity, Lain of the Wired, is one assumed by her when delving into the Wired, or when emotional stress of the real world becomes too much for her to handle. Despite the fact that most people don't actually express dissociation to this degree when it comes to their online identities, as humans spend more time online, they become more reclusive and seem to live online, and develop to be a very different person to how they present themselves in the public eye. Especially when you're dredging into the depths of places like 4chan and the site formerly known as Twitter. As Lain's life becomes more intertwined with the Wired, we see her obsession manifest physically through her room, becoming more and more filled with computers, screens and wires, with coolant leaking onto the floor, turning what was once a normal girl's bedroom into a place you'd expect to find in Blam or a HR Geiger pin. Although the level of alien-like technology in Lain's bedroom progresses to a level far beyond what people would have, it paints a dramatised picture of what it's like when you let the outside world become disinteresting to you, and living in the online world becomes far more appealing. More and more people's lives are getting sucked away by algorithms, and the internet becomes a safe space from the pressure of the real world, a space that really doesn't want you to leave. Upon its initial release, the show was met with praise from critics and viewers alike, not finding the momentum to break into the mainstream, but developing a cult following that continued to discuss the show online and create content with the franchise.
Lain, one of the most interesting, most highly stylized anime series we have yet been able to bring you. Never seen before on American television anime series, and this one we think is very important because we believe it's one of the best of all the anime series we've found to date. We're really enjoying it. Hope you are as well.
Serial Experiments Lain is often cited as a prescient work that predicted the rise of the internet and its impact on society. The show's exploration of themes such as identity, reality, and the nature of consciousness was able to resonate with viewers, to the point of influencing other works of art and culture. For example, the show's use of technology and its exploration of the internet's potential for both good and evil have influenced other cyberpunk-esque works, such as the Matrix films. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any record of the Matrix creators actually citing Lain as a direct inspiration, but the fact was used during promotional material for future DVD releases of Lain. Serial Experiments Lain has also become a symbol in several online communities, such as within the breakcore scene, where clips of the show are sampled, images are used in album covers, and song names are direct references to the show. In January 2017, a user on 4chan known as Tsuki began posting about a concept known as system space. It was based on the belief that our reality is just one system among many in the universe, and that when we die, we ascend to another layer of reality, and that our reality, our system, known as life, will come to an end. And by signing up to the Tsuki project, you'll be able to save your soul and have your consciousness transferred to another system called LFE when you die. The project involved a website, Reddit posts, and online forums where participants could interact with each other and with the project's creators. Despite attempts by those who ran the project to deter people from taking their own lives in order to move to LFE, it didn't stop many people in forums from discussing it, and tragically may have been the cause of at least one suicide. The show explores questions on existence and the boundaries between this reality and that of the online world. The plot of Serial Experiments Lain having a girl kill herself and live on in the wired, and an entire antagonistic group actively trying to convince Lain to abandon her human form and join the wired as a godlike entity. This made Lain into a perfect mascot figure for the Tsuki project, featuring explicitly on the website's main page, and meant many users on the forums went there to talk about Lain as opposed to the system space theory. Now, this video isn't long enough to talk too much about the Tsuki project, so I'll link some videos and stuff if you're curious about learning more. Serial Experiments Lain isn't a show that you'll understand after a first watch. There are so many moving pieces and new words to learn, all crammed into a 13-episode anime, that it makes it nearly impossible, but if you haven't taken the time to sit down and watch it, I cannot recommend it enough, and once you're done you can start crafting your own theories or rewatch the show through a different lens, as there is so much that you can derive from Lain. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. This is a bit of an experimental video, or maybe a serial experimental video, and so I would love some feedback in the comments. Alright, peace.